Welcome to The Q, the segment in which we get to discuss all the news and happenings in the world of Disney today. And as we rapidly approach the 2024 D23 event starting next week of August 5th, apparently doing a whole week of stuff leading up to next weekend. Of course, all the stuff they're doing during the week culminates in next weekend stuff, which we'll be reporting on. The drama between Disney and Universal seems to be wrapping up a bit, or so it seems. The last time we discussed Epic Universe was when Universal released their official information about Dark Universe at the end of June. At that point, they were following a bi-monthly trend since the beginning of the year, 2024, in which they would release information about each of the Epic Universe's worlds. After the release of Dark Universe, the last world to get their official release of information is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, which might be the most anticipated world for most people because this would complete a trilogy of sorts. And if we're talking about movie terms, a trilogy, of course, is the offerings that happen at Universal Orlando Resort with Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley, and now Wizarding Paris and the British Ministry of Magic. Now, here we are 2 months later in August, which is when we predicted they would release information about the new Harry Potter world at Epic. This happens to be the same month in which the 2024 D23 Disney fan event will be taking place, so we're looking forward to seeing how this competition plays out. And as we mentioned on those shows earlier this year, competition and computation and constipation and computation is good for business. But in a twist, Universal released information about the new Wizarding World on July 31st, about 2.5 weeks earlier than the anticipated 2024 D23 event. At least anticipated for us, because we as Disney fans are hoping for something much better than what they have been revealing at previous D23s or Destination Ds, which is a lot of nonsense on a napkin, as Rachel coined. Yeah?
I love that term. I do.
So here I am thinking, wait a minute. Are Disney and Universal playing nice, and Universal released its info on its final world early so as not to conflict with the D23 event? I mean, after all, they're both entities that want our money in the parks.
Sure.
And then, Rachel, you told me this, like when I posted a message, when I said, like, wait a minute, why did they release this early? And you had this to say. Rachel, do you remember what you said?
I said, I think that they're going to announce the opening date to compete with D23. I don't know that for sure, but that's my guess, is that we're going to be getting opening.
I was curious to know if you know any insider information as a travel agent that this might be what be going down.
I don't, that's just my guess. I think we're going to get the opening info.
And if she knew, she couldn't tell us anyway.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's true, but I don't know. But that's my guess. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think that's what they're on track for, is to give us the opening details.
Yeah, I don't know why they would feel the urge to play nice. But
right.
I think that anything that's announced at D23 isn't going to be that much of a threat to them anyway, because that's going to be years and years away.
Plus, it's stealing the thunder. If you know D23 is coming up on the second week, and you get to put some hype out about your stuff in the week before that, that's just stealing thunder. That's more wrestling psychology that's happening.
You think it's enough? I mean, that's the thing. It's like, man, this July 31st is when Universal released it. And so I did want to pause real quick and talk about this, because I thought it was weird. I was like, Harry Potter being the biggest thing, they have one in each of the other parks. And so, of course, the third new park's going to have it. And a lot of people are Harry Potter fans, and they release it on the 31st, which is exactly 2.5 weeks away. So is that enough, close enough to steal the thunder from D23, you think?
Well, the 31st of July is significant because it's Harry Potter's birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they released the details on the Ministry of Magic on Harry Potter's birthday.
Brilliant.
Wow. That is brilliant.
Leos unite.
Look, I want to say that I think it's a good strategy, and it makes sense what Rachel is saying, that if you were to go ahead and, okay, here's your D23 presentation, and then on Sunday come in and say, yeah, we're opening 2025, February. If you were to go ahead and do that, yeah, that does kind of steal the thunder. It's like, yeah, look at all this stuff Disney's going to bring you in 4 to 5 to 8 years. And Universal just comes out and says, yeah, we're releasing our stuff in 6 months.
In a few months.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever it is. So I do think it's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm anxious to see. I don't think there's anything that Disney can do, though, to take away from the fact that something's about ready to happen and their stuff is still in the planning stage.
Oh, well, Iger's not worried about it, of course, as he said numerous times.
They've been working on their response for
Exactly.
the last couple of
Exactly.
Yeah,
Rachel.
I mean,
They've been
this was
working on it.
happening in Japan, it'd be a completely different story, which we've talked about in previous episodes. Yes, I would have said this is competition. There's no friendliness when it comes to get money. Like they said, that movie Wall Street Greed is good. There's nothing that's gonna happen there for Universal to say, "Oh yeah, Disney, please, by all means, just introduce all your good stuff," and we'll just sit in the back and wait and leave the door open for you. That's not what's happening here.
No.
I get paid, son.
Yeah, and this is especially after, they said this at the beginning of the year.
Epic Universe represents a tremendous addition, almost doubling the size of Universal Orlando Resort. This gives us the opportunity to bring people to Universal Orlando for an entire week of the most incredible experiences they can imagine.
They threw down the gauntlet at the beginning of this year.
And they're going to have attractions and everything open within a few months. And Disney's going to have really great concept art that we got to drool over for years.
Which may or may not look like what the concept art is.
Usually it's not.
Yeah, look, are we making a mountain out of a molehill, creating unnecessary drama between these two entities? I say no, because Universal, like I said, threw down the gauntlet back in January 2024 when they released that particular quote that I just played. And of course, they're in big competition right now. So I'm curious to see what happens in the next week or so as D23 does its thing. And let's see how Universal responds. If it is an opening date and like travel agents like